Imagine with me that you're going along a trail in the woods and you come across a steep gorge with a rushing river at the bottom. It is a long drop to the bottom, and there's only one way to get across. You see a bridge, and it is made of this. What is this? Does anyone know what this is? Ooh, it's shedding. It's pampas grass specifically, but yes, it's a long grass that often you can find in South America. So this is what this bridge is made of. So if you were faced with crossing this bridge, what would you want to know before you take that first step? What questions might you have? Yeah. So you'd want to know, if I step on this, is it going to break and I'm going to fall? That's very important, yes. What other questions might you have? Yeah. Have other people survived and hopefully thrived crossing this bridge? Other questions? Why was that material chosen? That's a good question. How much grass is the bridge made of? What's on the other side? How much weight can it bear? How many people can walk across at one time? Yeah. What's under it? Ooh, I think a big rushing river. That sounds pretty scary. Yeah. What's above it? Ooh, that's interesting. Is it an all-weather bridge, for example? Could you cross it if it's raining? Yeah. Do I really need to cross this bridge? That's excellent. Any others? Yeah. Do you dare to cross it? Anything else that you might want to know? Who built it? That was not a plant, I promise. Yes, who built this bridge? And furthermore, I would want to know, did they cross it themselves? Right? Now, I have a paralyzing fear of heights, so you would probably have to drag me kicking and screaming against my will, no matter how much reassurance I've been offered. But putting that aside, I'd want to know who made the bridge, how they made it, and whether the people who made the bridge have crossed it themselves. It's a little like when you're on an airplane and there's some turbulence. What do you do if you feel turbulence to calm yourself? Who do you look to? The flight attendants. If the flight attendants are chill, then I usually can relax because they would know better than I how safe we are, right? So back to the grass bridge. Now, we may not have them here in Michigan, but they were plentiful in South America. According to National Geographic, quote, many rope suspension bridges were built during the Inca Empire, linking the massive territory by way of what is now known as the Great Inca Road. The road spanned nearly 25,000 miles and connected previously isolated communities, allowing soldiers, messengers, and ordinary citizens to traverse the empire, end quote. Now, I found some really amazing pictures of one such bridge from a 2018 National Geographic article that I just quoted, and those will be playing as we go here. So, one thing that's really important to note is that these grass bridges have to be rebuilt. How often do you think? Every year, annually. So you can see in this next photo that there's going to be anchor points that they take out, basically so that the old bridge falls into the water, so they can start over. I'm glad no one was on that bridge when it fell. Over 3 days of work, prayer, and celebration, a new bridge will be woven in its place. This particular bridge that you're seeing has been built and rebuilt continuously for 5 centuries. On the appointed day, everyone in the village would gather to begin work. Each person had a special role to play in building the bridge. First, there were the people who actually gathered the grass up, which you'll see in a moment. And then other people would take that grass and twist it into these long ropes. And then those people would take the ropes and weave them into these thick braids. And then those braids would be twisted into yet another long cable, which was thicker, much thicker than our arms, really. And next, a select group of especially brave and skilled people strung the cables across the gorge and pulled them nice and tight. I would not be volunteering for this particular job. And then finally, there were the riggers who would actually lash the cables together in such a way as to create a footbed to walk on and rails on each side. Each person did their part as best they could. And they relied on everyone else to do their part well, because every one of them needed that bridge to safely carry them across the river, wherever and whenever they needed to go that way. This was a major component of that culture, quote, the idea of common labor. Communities joined together to work on common projects without the expectation of pay, knowing that the entire village or region will benefit in the end, end quote. So why am I telling you about these bridges, these grass bridges? What in the world does this have to do with our gathering here in community? What do you think? It's a metaphor for what? For us, right? What else? What else does this make you think of? What are words or phrases that come to mind? Trying things if you're scared, that's excellent. Others? Trust, really, really important. What else? What else do we see happening here in this process? Community. Is there another word maybe for community or doing things all together? Teamwork, absolutely. What else? Volunteering, yes. The importance of every single person. Everyone has a role to play. Yes. Responsibility, excellent, because if you don't do your part, then all the other parts might fall apart, right? So we all owe it to one another. Yes?
It's a project that's ongoing and you have to keep working on it. You can't just let it deteriorate, but it's a work in progress.
Absolutely. This is a work in progress. You can't just say, well, we've done it and it's over now, right? There is no end point. You just have to keep doing the work over and over again. And that also it touches on things like cultural preservation, because this process has been passed down generation after generation, right? There's one more thing that I wanted to mention here that I think is really important. And it's the idea of achieving what seems to be impossible, right? I put myself in the shoes of that very first person who came to that gorge and thought, I want to get onto the other side. How am I going to do that? And they look around and all they see is this pampas grass. And they think, that might be tough, but I think I can figure out a way. It's achieving the impossible, and it's basically, well, not basically, but it really feels like a miracle in many ways, you know? And who is that first person who dared to take that step? That first step. Because no one had ever done it before, so you couldn't look in the past and say, well, people have been walking on this bridge for years. So you have to have that really important trust. Trust in the community. Now, we in this congregation, we might not be building a literal bridge across a raging river, although sometimes it does feel like that. But we are building something. With every volunteer hour served, every pledge given, every flower planted on our property, every social justice action taken, we are building a way forward into an uncertain future that is waiting for us, ready or not. I want to make my way into that future with each one of you by my side. And I want the way to feel sure and strong and safe, a way that I know has been built well, with everyone doing their part with love as best they can. Let us venture across our own grass bridge, built with care, in the spirit of justice, equity, interdependence, pluralism, transformation, generosity, and love. May it be so. Now, before Dusty and I head out with the kids to begin a new year in the Spiritual Growth and Development Program, I want to quickly recognize all of the volunteers, past, present, and future, that open their hearts to the sacred privilege and responsibility of journeying alongside our children and youth. We offer our gratitude to those that give of their time and talents to encourage and support, to challenge and guide, and most especially to welcome and embrace our children and youth just as they are. At this time, I'd like to offer a blessing to all of you that helped to make our SGD program a success, and that is everybody in this space. and everybody at home watching. I ask that when I gesture in your direction like this, you respond by saying, "We journey together." It is important for our children, youth, and adults to know that they are held with tenderness and care, and to know that they are safe and loved as their whole selves. We journey together. It is important for our children, youth, and adults to believe in their gifts, to live with compassion, integrity, service, and joy, and to know that they can make a difference. We journey together. It is important for our children, youth, and adults to trust in their worthiness, to respect the worthiness of others, and to carry our values into the wider world. We journey together.